this is one of the things that kind of slipped in the cracks with the league meetings because we spend so much time talking about Robert Kraft's comments about Bill Belichick and Bill Belichick and the whole check the last 25 years. And then he had to walk that back and clarify it because guys like Teddy Bruschi said, hey, wait a minute. This is completely antithetical to everything that Bill Belichick ever told us. You never talk about the past. You only talk about the future. One thing about the future Bill Belichick discussed, the quarterback situation between Mac Jones and Bailey Zappe.
Right.
Here is Belichick on whether they are competing for the QB1 honors in New England.
Would it be fair to say that both Mac and Bailey Zappe will be competing for the starting job over the summer, or is it Mac's job?
Yeah, well, everybody get a chance to play. We'll play the best players.
So it's still kind of a competition.
Everybody will get a chance to play.
That's even more than a competition. Everybody will get a chance to play. You can say it's competition to see who gets on the field, or you can say we're going to put them both on the field and see what happens. They were toying with that last year. Remember that?
Right.
Was that the
Bears game?
That Bears game that they lost? Yeah.
Right.
It's Zappe and it's Mac, and it's Zappe and it's Mac, and are they going to play them both? And when are they bringing them back? And there still is an undercurrent of hostility and animosity between Mac Jones and Bill Belichick that doesn't get discussed enough, but it's there. And it exploded during the season behind the scenes quietly between Mac and Belichick. And I think that there's some affinity from ownership toward Mac Jones, which complicates things. But look, imagine I run any quarterback questions posed to Bill Belichick through the filter of how would he have handled that question when Tom Brady was the starter. He never would have answered it that way when it was Tom Brady and Brian Hoyer. I guarantee you that.
No.
So it's indicative that they don't know who their guy is. And that causes some to say, why aren't they making a move for Lamar Jackson? Because he'd clearly be better than both. Well, they're not making a move for Lamar Jackson, so it doesn't matter. No. It's going to be Mac Jones. Or it's going to be Bailey Zappe. And, Chris, look at that roster. Look at the other teams in the division.
Yeah. Yeah,
if I'm ranking 1, 2, 3, 4, they're number 4 right now in the AFC East.
Yeah, I hear that. It's. I mean, we know the Jets-Dolphins rosters are as good as it gets in football. The Bills, I mean, it's of course incredibly good as well. So yeah, I hear you. It's right there, I guess, with the Bills, I would say, as far as that. But yeah, I think if I had to probably say it, I might say it's 4th as well. All right, and you said it right. I mean, we both know there's some issues there with Mac and Bill Belichick. There's something there. We've heard from too many people, right? And it goes back to the offseason or last training camp and all of that. But you know, I think ultimately, like, they know who their starting quarterback is. I do think they know it's Mac Jones. I just think, like, Mike, he's Bill Belichick, the school of coaching he's from, the way they played last year. He's not, unless you're Tom Brady or Lawrence Taylor or somebody like, you're nobody. It's compete and get your ass ready for the year this year. No one's getting the red carpet treatment there in New England. No one showed that they're that good that they just get to go. He's going to keep everybody on edge. I would imagine. It's a big year for Bill Belichick. You know, like you talked about last week. Talking about Kraft, would he fire him if they don't make the playoffs? All those things. He understands what's going on. He hears what's going on there in New England. So he ain't into let me make Mac feel real cozy and warm right now on April 1st. He's hoping Mac is stressing out and working his ass off because he's worried Bailey Zappe might be the starter, and that's what he wants. And I think he'll push those buttons with Mac and this team right now because they're not, you know, a Brady team in 2016 that we know is on the precipice of being one of the best teams in football.
And I think things went sideways for Bill Belichick and Mac Jones with this whole experiment.
Yeah, definitely.
Robert Kraft
right?
called it last week of making Matt Patricia the offensive coordinator when Matt Patricia had never coached offense his entire life. He'd been a head coach, but he's not an offensive expert. And yeah, it worked for Bill Belichick, and it's worked for other guys who have figured out both sides of the ball. But last year proved how hard it is. You can be a brilliant defensive mind. You can be a brilliant mind in any other aspect. But all of a sudden, to figure out how to run an offense just like that, and Mac Jones is the guy whose career is affected by the fact that they go from Josh McDaniels to Matt Patricia with a little help from Joe Judge, another guy who was never an offensive coach. Here, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And I think that's what started it. And by the end of the season, what are we seeing? We're seeing Mac Jones visibly dropping F-bombs, yelling and screaming, upset all the time because he's the guy who's caught in the middle of this mess. And so there, very well.
Throw the effing ball.
There it is. Yeah. So I can understand why he's upset. I can understand why Bill is trying to maybe urge him to play a little bit better, because right now, Josh Allen, Tua Tagovailoa, Aaron Rodgers, Mac Jones. Mac Jones is fourth. Mac Jones is clearly fourth. Hear me to and on? Mac Jones is clearly fourth behind Tua and Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers in the AFC East. There's no doubt about that.
No.
It occurred to me, Chris, if anybody should be calling Tom Brady, it should be the Patriots. Number one, Brady right now is better than what they have, and that would be something to at least placate the fans. Bring back Tom Brady for one last year. Go see Tom Brady in a Patriots uniform one last time. That may be the ultimate distraction to the fact that we're not very good. And I think Brady wouldn't want anything to do with it for the simple reason that the team isn't very good right now.
No, that's not going to be the team he picks. I mean, like we talked about, if he's coming back, he's going to a team that's ready, can win it. Like we joked about a little, I think early in the offseason where we were like, he's not going to pick some team and go, well, I think we can get to the wild card game, right? I mean, he's going like, can this team win the Super Bowl? If they can, screw you, you're off my list. So that's not New England, as you're saying. You're right in that. Yeah, they're a team here that's in transition, trying to find their identity. I don't even know how to explain it. Yeah, they've lost their great leader in Tom Brady, and the offensive coordinator thing in McDaniels and his leadership on the offensive side of the ball. He leaves. It's kind of a double whammy. It's a lot they've had to overcome the last few years. And then to make a mistake like you talked about, to have two guys that are good coaches but just not ready to coach offensive side of the ball and come up with game plans. Of course Mac Jones must have been frustrated. And that's what I heard, right? Well, I think I said that early in the season, that he had called Alabama and certain coaches going, hey, can you give some ideas to our coaches? Well, I mean, come on, all of us who pay attention to football, how do you think that's going to go over with New England people if they heard that was happening, right? So I understand him being frustrated because he's going, wait, at Alabama and when I got to New England, my offense was way better then than it is right now, and here I am in the second year of my NFL career, and I'm sure he was frustrated. But I don't know if calling Alabama where the head coach is an ex-assistant of your head coach.
Getting back.
It's going to get back, right? Exactly. That's where he went wrong.
Well, and Nick Saban, the head coach, is going to catch wind of it, and he and Belichick are tight.
Exactly.
And can you imagine the fun that Saban had telling Belichick that he can't control his guys to the point where they're calling college programs for help? And that I hadn't heard that before today, but there's other stuff I've heard that it's just dysfunctional. For the first time ever under Bill Belichick, the Patriots feel dysfunctional, and I don't know that they can do enough in one off season, especially because we've come a very long way from the days when they ran that division. And I don't want to take away anything from what they accomplished, but it's a hell of a lot easier to get to the AFC Championship game every year when you run roughshod over three bad teams in your division. You emerge from that with the 1 seed or the 2 seed, and all you have to do is win a home playoff game, and you're in the AFC Championship. Because remember, up until a couple of years ago, the top 2 teams got wild card round off and hosted that divisional round game. You win, you get one of the top 2 seeds because everybody else in your division is horrible. In part, I don't want to take anything away from the stuff they did beyond their division, but it helps when the rest of your division is horrible and you don't go 3-3 or 2-4 in your division. You go 5-1 or 6-0, and then you win a home playoff game and you punch your ticket to the AFC Championship. And some years you get to the Super Bowl, some years you win the Super Bowl. But it is easy. If you can get the planets to align in a way that your team is really good and the other 3 teams in your division are really bad, it isn't all that hard to get the conference championship game on a regular basis.
No, it's kind of the under, and I don't mean it to be disrespectful. It's kind of the under-the-radar aspect of, I think, the 49ers and the Patriots dynasty to a degree. The fact that they, you laid it out, right? Those 6 games, you had to know that, hey, wait, okay, not only do we know these teams, but we're clearly better, and we don't have to physically kill ourselves to come out and win these games like some other teams do in other conferences, right? And I think there is something to that. And I used to sit there, like I said, we've talked about this before, in the 80s with the Giants football team having to play Washington and Philadelphia and the Cowboys. And then, whoa, we got to get in the playoffs. And it's like, well, yeah, it's been the playoffs for you guys in the NFC East for like the last 7-8 weeks here. And now you got to get, more car crashes in physical football. Yeah, the 49ers, of course, had a little bit of a advantage that way. Yeah, and the Patriots did too, certainly. But it's not that way anymore. Tides have turned, and that's why we're talking about it. It's a big year with Belichick because it's the first time ever, like you said, where we're going, dysfunction, I don't know if they can just overcome it with Belichick magic and all this type of stuff, and we haven't had these questions in a long time up in New England.
There was a period of time where, they had the Falcons, the Saints, and the Rams as their competition. The 49ers did.
Yeah.
Through the 80s. That's 6 wins a year you could count on. I'm looking at the records. Those teams were all sub 500 for the most part. The Rams every once in a while would be
pop up
competitive.
Right.
But the 49ers owned that division just like the Patriots did. So a lot of questions in New England. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.